Hello everyone. Today we have for you a very special guest and most special car. So stay tuned. You will discover many things about the guest and the 1968 Camaro, right, Roberto?
Absolutely. It's a 1968 Camaro, actually an American icon, but this particular one built in Switzerland.
So probably you saw before that we're watching the train of the PC7 team here in Dubendorf, and it's very special because Roberto actually, like me, well, I tried, but actually he made it. He is a pilot as well. So
Yeah,
actually,
that's what they say.
yeah, exactly. Actually, you flew planes like the Constellation, right?
Right, I was involved in the restoration project of the Super Constellation in the US and flying over the Super Constellation to Switzerland. I was involved about 10 years in the airshow circuit in Europe, flying the Constellation. And yeah, it was good
It was
times.
a journey, right?
It was quite a journey. Yeah.
So today we put together, one of the two passions of Roberto. So obviously airplanes, like you can see this one, and classic cars. So I think many of you know that Roberto is actually member of the Motor Chain Jury for the best documented car in show. Next actually is Lugano. In a couple of weeks we are gonna be there.
Right.
Testing, judging about 30 something cars.
Lugano Elegance, I think we are at 35 cars
35
by
cars.
now.
Yeah.
It will be on May 16 and 17. So
Exactly. We are gonna
looking forward to nice weather down south.
But let's talk about this car because, yeah, we all know Camaros. There is the fight between what is better or nicer, Camaros, Mustang. Roberto and I are Camaro people, that's for sure. Probably you will disagree. I mean, the line of these cars are, in my opinion, simple. Okay, like Fioravanti said, the courage of simplicity, and this is for being an American car for me is very close to perfection. However, is this the best Camaro in the world? I will say it has to be in top 3. And why is this? Tell us about this car, Roberto.
Well, essentially, first of all, I became a Camaro person due to this car. Before, I always admired the first generation Camaro, but I would never have dreamt of having such a car. So it was by a series of circumstances, lucky circumstances, that I have been offered this car. This car is, as I said before, a Swiss assembled car. So it is one of those Camaros that have been assembled in Bienne at General Motors Swiss. The exact production date is December 67, but it's already a 68 model. The car has been delivered to the first owner, a lady in Lucerne.
Let's stop there. So first owner lady, but how many of you knew that there were Camaros assembled in Switzerland? First owner, a lady.
Imagine about a 50-year-old lady in 1968 ordering during Christmas time this car, having it delivered on the first day of January.
Sounds like a divorce.
I don't know,
Maybe, right? New life, new car?
maybe, or maybe she just wanted to enjoy again
Yeah, life, yeah.
life. And you know, the color combination white and red, well, first of all, it's very Swiss, okay.
True. We saw the colors.
But I think it's
today.
also timeless. So this is really what elegance makes out of this car, because it has a very simple form, as you said before, with this accentuated Coke bottle in the back, and then paired with this very timeless color combination, it really makes it a timeless classic. Okay. So back to the first owner. So this lady bought this car in January 68, and the car was with her during her whole life. This means that I was lucky enough, unfortunately not to meet the lady, but to buy the car from the daughter.
So you are the second owner.
Exactly.
Guys,
So-
how many Camaros in the world have only 2 owners?
So this is a first-hand Camaro bought by the daughter of the first owner. So it is really a very long and a very unique story with just two actors in the whole script.
Now, question: restore, original, modifications? So
So essentially, there are no modifications.
that's the way the lady ordered the car.
Exactly.
The car is as it was ordered, configured by the first owner, the lady, and delivered to her.
It is
That's it.
exactly in the condition and in order as it has been delivered to the first owner.
Never respray,
There is
never
no
retrim,
never retrimmed.
original rims.
Rims are original. It's actually a factory option. Those are called the rally wheels. Those are steel wheels with the rally ornament. The red stripe tires are exactly as in the period from design-wise. And the first engine, first transmission, first differential. So it's really as it is, and numbers matching. By the way, Swiss Camaros had a known chassis number,
Different from the Americans?
different from
Of
the
course,
Americans.
yeah, okay.
So you cannot match these chassis numbers with the American chassis numbers.
So the elements of this car were built in the US. So chassis, bodywork, engine, differential, shipped to Switzerland, and they were basically assembled.
So
right?
essentially,
Or,
this car does not have a chassis physically. Okay,
okay,
it is just a frame in the front
Okay.
where the engine is mounted on.
okay,
So, but the cars or the pieces were made essentially in the US,
okay,
shipped to Switzerland,
yeah,
and then assembled in Switzerland to the car.
okay.
So everything that is interior paintwork and the whole assembly has been done in Switzerland.
Okay. The interior, the seats, the vinyl, all well shipped. They were built in the US and shipped here as well.
So, for example, vinyl sky that they use
Yeah.
for the interior is a Swiss product.
Okay. So then the interior was done here. The seats were done here.
It was partially made here, partially put together out of trim pieces out of the US. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So it's what they call the deluxe interior. It's pretty much the same material that the Firebird, 68 Firebird had.
Yeah.
So it was a deluxe.
So now the question. So Roberto is telling us that he's the second owner. The car is 100% original. And then the question is that
I don't like to talk about the original car. I would say it's an authentic car.
why that?
Because, original is just once in a lifetime when it comes out of factory.
Okay.
So it is an authentic car because it has the original engine, it has the original gearbox, it has the original differential.
Okay.
But, brakes have been
Replaced, obviously.
replaced.
Okay.
A lot of hoses,
Clutch,
replaced.
rolling.
no clutch because it's automatic transmission.
Okay.
But tires,
Of course.
wiper blades, whatever have been
Yeah.
changed. So, but they have been exchanged with original parts.
Okay. With authentic parts. Yeah.
So the car for me is authentic.
Okay. So can we say that there is a percentage of originality and percentage of authentic? So it's 90% original, 10% authentic because you replace.
It's authentic because it has been maintained within original specifications.
Okay. Okay.
Otherwise, it would have been a modified car.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
that's not the case.
That's not. No, that's for sure. That's not the case. Let's talk a little bit of. Obviously, the history of this car is short in terms of provenance. Okay, but is it long in terms of maintenance? So, how much is important for you to keep track and record of the history of this car or a car in particular?
I mean, it's absolutely essential. What to say? I got the car with exactly 100,000 kilometers.
So it was driven by the first
lady,
owner.
By the first owner for 100,000 kilometers.
Okay, so it's not a time capsule. It's
Then
a driver.
I would say something in between
Yeah.
because
More
the
than a
con-
survivor, because I
the
mean,
condition is more time capsule than survivor.
in comparison with my Ferrari, which is a pure
Yeah.
survivor, has been driven and abused a little bit. Obviously, yours not.
No,
Yeah.
this is it's been always been very much taken care of. Most probably, it's set the whole life in a garage. It's never slept outside.
Clearly.
So I would define it a time capsule. Although with 100,000 kilometers, the car stood still about 10 years before I took it over.
You bought it, okay?
Yeah, and just to be cautious and also responsible, when I bought the car, I replaced all the safety
The few
relevant
lines, the hoses, probably,
safety
right?
relevant
Yeah.
components on the car.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah.
So we talk about shock absorbers, brakes,
Okay.
water, fuel, oil hoses, the radiator, just to have the car 100% into original configuration. Okay, so an authentic car again.
Yeah.
But 100% reliable.
Exactly.
So
okay.
that at any time you can just sit in and prove the claim that Chevrolet built better cars.
Yeah.
Okay. You turn the key and you go everywhere.
It's a sculpture, but it's a mobile sculpture,
Exactly.
right? It's a car.
And some people say, well, if you find a car in this condition, you should just put it in a garage and, preserve it for future generations. I'm not about this opinion. So I'm much more of showing it today to future generations.
Yeah.
So this is why I really try to use the car, drive around, having fun with it, show it to people. If people come up and ask you questions, be polite, answer the questions, even if they're stupid. But it's like the girl at the fuel pump this morning when I went in to pay, and she said,
Yeah.
"Oh wow, such a nice car. Can you still buy it today?" I said, "No, not exactly. I mean, you can."
But it's a compliment, right? Because he believes it's actually a modern car, right? So
Is it a compliment then?
Yeah, maybe not. This is true. So, nicest memory you have with this car so far? Probably the time you bought it, obviously. That was probably very special. But after driving any tour,
It was quite an interesting approach to this car because I got to know about this car through a friend of mine who was in touch with the daughter of the first owner, and he essentially was convinced that this should be my car. At the time, I was living abroad. I was working abroad, so I just got pictures on my cell phone and just comments on WhatsApp about the car and about me and the car, and it was quite strange to believe that
the cars come to you.
the cars come to me.
Yeah.
And this is not the first time this has happened. So essentially, when people ask me, well, oh wow, you found a '68 Camaro, and well, not exactly. The car found me, and this is with essentially all the cars I have. I was never watching or searching
For cars. Yes.
but I always happened to be at the right time at the right place, or the car found me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Through people who know me and whatever. So, yeah, that's a bit the story of my cars, but especially this one, it came to my house while I wasn't even there.
So you mentioned before about the young generation, the new generations. Do you like to have this car out and driven so you can show, so maybe you can attract new people to the hobby? So, in my opinion, this hobby is becoming less and less affordable. It's more and more difficult to buy a car like this, okay, for reasonable price, not even. So, couple of advices, 2 or 3 advices that you have for young generations. They want to come into the hobby. It's expensive. Okay, so how would you approach this if you were into that age these days?
That's a very difficult question. If I think how I did it, I just bought what I liked and what I could afford, and I was happy with what I had and what I could afford. Take your time, build your car step by step. Try to do it the way that you think is right. So if you drive your car also 3 years with a worn out interior, I mean, who cares?
I do.
Have fun with it, you know.
Yeah.
And if then comes time you think now it's time to replace the interior or to recondition the interior and you can afford it, then do it. But don't put yourself in a position of pressure, wanting to have the perfect car or just buying something that people tell you you should buy this.
Yeah, it's the right thing to buy. You're cool with
So
this car.
follow just your taste, follow your ideas, and try to have the car as an expression of what you are. Don't try to be what the car wants to be you to be. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah. Buy the car for you, not for the others.
Exactly.
Neither investments.
Exactly.
Enjoy the car. Buy the car that you like. Probably my 5 cents. Buy the best car you can buy within your budget. Otherwise, you will end up spending a lot of money afterwards. Okay. And maybe what I would like to put is very respectful with the provenance and the car. Okay. I think that's my philosophy. You want to heavily modify a car, buy a car which is basically nothing, a project. But if you buy a car which had a very nice provenance, it retains the substance of the previous owners. Be respectful with the car, okay, and not modify, but maintain, upgrade tastefully. That's probably would be my advice to the
Absolutely.
young generation. They're coming back home. Well, our special guests, only for you, are going back home. We are going back home as well. Most important question: can I drive it?
Sure, you can.